Hello, this is Sam Simon, also known as Dementia Man. And let's see, this is for the week of April 12th. Oh my God, tax filing week. We've got something better, something maybe to help take your mind off of filing your taxes by April 15th.
Hmm.
Today, I want to introduce you to a very special person, Michelle Esch. And there's
It's
Michelle
actually Michelle Esch.
Esch. Now, how come I called you Esch? Because I guess I always do. So easy. Esch.
Yep.
Esch. Michelle Esch. Everybody got that? Okay. Um, so this is part of a thing of welcome to the team or meet the team is what I want to call it. And I'm starting with Michelle because because she is so central right now to all this work that I'm doing, not just these wonderful weekly podcasts, because she's the one who gets the raw video, dresses it all up, puts it on YouTube, gives it the titles, makes sure I see it, blah, blah, blah. And we do that every week. But there's a lot more to that. A lot of the design features of the website, and we're going to show that in a minute, um, and even the materials. So the job that she has for me, but there's another job. We're going to talk about that one really because you really don't, there's maybe this stereotypical idea of the person behind the screen is a person, probably you have a stereotype of a guy, um, looking down his computer and, it's got all sorts of computer things around. Um, when in fact, Michelle also is an artist. Also, and what I love about it is, not only is she a mother of a young lady, and you're going to remind me of her name. I know it's in here, but it goes away. It's
Juliet.
Juliet, of course. No
Juliet
Romeo.
Rose.
She's too young for a Romeo, but she's Juliet. Uh, and Michelle works and she'll tell us more about it. In the program presents uh, music to very young people around the country, and I had the privilege of being in one of their performances here in near the Washington D.C. area not that long ago, and I had a good time. And I stood up and sang, as did Susan, my wife. So that was really great. So I do want to just give a little bit of example, and we're going to pop back and turn it in some ways over to you, Michelle, and talk about
Yeah.
the various things you do. I'm going to share my screen for a quick moment. And what people are going to see is the front of our website. I think that's visible behind me or next to me. Now you can confirm that, I think, Michelle.
I see it. Yep.
And Michelle works at helping design. We had some other folks help design it, but she's been the one behind that and putting things up and getting it all there, um, which is no small thing. And then there's the calendar, which I show, and she helps these various organizations create their own flyers, which they use. And just yesterday, as you can see, um, well, yesterday from when we recorded, April 9th, I was at, that's pronounced Inspire, but Inspire. Oh, and breaking news to Michelle and
Yes.
others. So Inspire or Inspire is an assisted and memory care company. They are new in the Washington, D.C. area. and there was a very large luncheon of, I say large, about 50 people who work in the senior living world in the Metro Washington area. And I was the speaker or the book talk. I met the person who runs the Inspire facility in New York City. And we agreed
Excellent.
they're going to get me into New York City. I have to follow up, but that's
Yes,
breaking news, folks. Breaking news.
we've been wanting that.
But these are the things that are on my agenda. But Michelle works with each one of these folks as needed to get their flyers and materials ready, and we get that out on our thing. So very, 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 making sure the front page. By the way, that this Washington Post article has been up a little while because I don't know. I think the last time I looked at the Instagram version of this, which I think this links to now, um, they had almost 35,000
Yeah, I think it
views,
is at 35,000.
1.1 thousand shares, and the exciting news is that is that it's doing so well. The sad news is that the really fabulous reporter and videographer behind this article, the following week after they finished the work, were part of a downsizing of the Washington Post. But this is still really exciting and people love it and like. And again, Michelle works to get all this up and make it work and share. And um, I'm sure, I don't know if you've got enough time to work for anybody else. This isn't a pitch for you to be, but it is a,
5 project. It depends on what time of year it is, for sure.
but also I hope that when you get to see, and I'm gonna stop sharing as we begin to hear about the other part of Michelle's life, that you may be part of, may want to think about how do you bring some of that work to, if you're involved with children, school systems. So Michelle, tell us a little bit about, and I want to make sure that you have the ability to share your screen if you're in a position to do that. Let me see if I can make sure that that's multiple people can share, and share a little bit about the folks involved and what it looks like. That's a very nice picture of Michelle, but you should see her on stage with her hands up, dancing around.
We'll add something here. We'll add something to the video so people can see. See a
So,
moment.
so with that, tell us a little bit about that side of your life, Michelle.
Sure.
And where are you, by the way? Where are you?
Where am I right now?
Yeah,
I am in Rutherford, New Jersey, which is just like 20 minutes outside of Midtown Manhattan. So basically the New York area, but I have like all the access, buses, trains, in and out, super quick from right where I am here in Rutherford, New Jersey. Yeah, so as Sam was saying, part of my life is this, I like to think of it as creative as well, but still this creative and administrative role that I have played for Sam and for multiple other people as well. But I also am an artist. I'm a performer. I am a trained dancer, and I went to Rutgers Mason Gross and got my BFA in dance there in college. But really, I've been dancing since I was very, very little. Joined like a pre-professional ballet company when I was 8 years old and started doing nutcrackers and Les Lafite and, lots of weekend rehearsals, giving up birthday parties, all of that. Like dance has been so much of my life. And it's brought so much to my life. It's brought a lot of joy to my life, and it's brought a lot of connections to my life. And believe it or not, like through dance is actually how I met Sam because a dancer that I worked with was working with Sam. And her name was also Sam, Samantha. So,
Samantha, yeah, that I forgot about that.
yeah,
Samantha was a dancer, and
is a dancer. She's a fabulous dancer.
oh man, yeah, I think she's off Broadway right now.
Yes.
Yeah, but interesting that she also did, as you do, the design and internet connectivity in the back end of web uh, and now
Yeah.
the, the more advanced parts of we do have we're working with me to get me to do more TikTok. I'm a really old man for TikTok, but we're working on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of dancers also have their like side job or their job that maybe has more consistent income. And then you have your dance projects that are bringing in some here and there money, you know. But as it goes to make the living, we do lots of things. And I found dancers to be some of the smartest and most resourceful and talented people that I've run into in my career.
So
So
what's the program? What's the company that you're involved in?
so currently I'm dancing with the Lori Berkner Band. She is a world-renowned children's musician, millions of views on YouTube for her songs. She's been doing this over 25 years and got really big on Nickelodeon, where she did interstitials on a show called Jack's Big Music Show, and her band would play. Um, and so I perform with Lori, touring all over the country. And recently I started performing with the whole band as well. So I am basically like their dancer entertainer. And it's really special. It's exciting for me because I'm out there dancing and really showing the children things that they can do with me. And while I'm out there, I see all these kids start to move and dance with me, do whatever I'm doing, like following my footsteps. And like, it's an amazing experience for me. I
Not
think as
just
a
the
mom
kids,
as well.
not just the kids. Susan and I
Not just
were
the
up in
kids, the adults, everybody.
we were up in the balcony that time, and we were up there dancing too.
Yes, it's true. The adults are too. And one thing about Lori's music is she's kind of known for playing kids music that adults actually enjoy. That it's like not like, oh my gosh, I can't stand this music. I have to listen to it again. There's so many people that are like, I was in my car listening to your music and I realized my kids aren't even in the car. I'm like singing along. I'm still listening after I dropped them off to school or something like that.
You know what? It's funny how having a conversation sparks a, I don't know, a feeling and a thought in me. I'm thinking my granddaughter, who's now just yesterday turned 23, but as
Uh-huh.
a young lady said, always ask, why does grandpa go deep? So here is grandpa about to go a little deep. It is, it is so interesting how in the midst of a social time in our history that is so almost dark, we have this beautiful, it shouldn't be called a subculture, but this beautiful younger culture that particularly grade school and younger cohort dancing and full of joy and people doing that and making that happen. Because that
It
is
is really beautiful to see.
yeah, the joy and people and everybody's happy. It, indeed it's all joy, and it takes people like you and your company to make those things happen and to be out there. It
Yeah.
doesn't make the headlines in the paper. It should. Make it headlines on Dementia Man um, blog, YouTube. Uh, yeah. And you've been doing this for
So this is another like kind of interesting story, but I started working with Lori, I believe, after 2011. So I've been with her for quite a long time, but I actually started, she owns her own record label, and I started working in her record label doing social media work for her. I came in to sub for someone for just a month. They were going to be away for a month and they needed somebody to sub. And I had met somebody in the swing dance world, was like, I know of a job. At the time, I was working two other side jobs. One was like a corporate sponsorship company that paired artists with corporate sponsors, basically. And then I also worked with, at an art gallery on the side doing admin, and I was swing dancing and doing all different styles, training at the Paul Taylor dance school, just living that dance life. And at the time they said, I know of a job at this record label, I think it'll pay you a little more than you're getting paid at like the art gallery, you should go check it out. So I went and they were like, we just need somebody for a month. And I was like, is this worth it? I decided to do it. After a month, I had several posts go viral, and they were like, actually, we want to keep you on. We don't want to get rid of the other person. We're going to shift her to another position in the company, and we're going to have you run our social media. So then at the time, I started working there part time, eventually went full time, but I was mostly, and I say mostly, I was mostly doing marketing for them, but in a very small record label, you're also doing tons of things. I was doing casting, I was videoing music videos at the YouTube creator spaces. I was doing all kinds of things, all kinds of graphic design and all of that. So I really learned a lot during my time there. She was out touring and performing, and I was not going out with her at first. Then I eventually started stage managing and tour managing with her. But even though she knew like my dance background, I still wasn't performing with her. And then I had my daughter, and I transitioned out of working full time in the company, in the record label. And I was only doing some touring with her. But I was also performing with an Irish dance company called Derrickar Dance, who's like the resident company of the Irish Arts Center in Manhattan. And we had a show at Jacob's Pillow that summer. And I was performing at Jacob's Pillow, and I get a phone call from Lori, and she's like, I broke my foot and I have a show next weekend and I don't want to cancel it. Is there any way if I sit on a stool, you can come and bring movement to the stage? And I was like, yeah, I mean, yes, I could. I think I could do that. I didn't have any rehearsal time. It was a huge like
improv,
outdoor
improv and
improv.
dancing.
Oh, totally. It was a huge outdoor, the New Jersey Festival of Ballooning in White House Station, this balloon festival, set up stage, huge audience, and it was happened to be my first show. HBO was coming to film a documentary about her. And I was like, oh, okay, so HBO is here and we're going to do a documentary about kids' music. Cool. And it's time to dance. So luckily, I mean, I knew her, all of her songs, right? I knew her whole back catalog, very familiar with it. So that made it easier for me to come up with things that I would want to do to the music. But that was my very first show with her. And then she got so much positive feedback that she was like, you think like anytime you're tour managing a show, you could dance at it too?
I've got a quick question. Were you in the HBO?
I was, yeah. If you look it up,
So you're
it's
on
called Happy and You Know It. It was directed by Penny Lane, who's like known for doing a lot of big
but
documentaries with them.
you're on an HBO.
Yeah,
I brag
I
about
am.
all the
It's available now for streaming.
I
I'm
brag about,
performing with her in it.
I brag about my background, and in my show, I said I was even on Oprah once, but that was so long ago. I have never been on HBO,
Uh-oh, Sam, we got to
Never.
get you on HBO.
Just
Yes, I'm
teasing.
currently on HBO. I think there's a lot more interviews, and it's I think 5 different kids artists that they interviewed and show performing. But whenever Lori is performing in that documentary, I am on stage dancing with her. Uh,
Well, I loved it, by the way. I just, and we don't have any great grands yet. That will be the next in our life. But we have grandchildren who, if she's listening, could get married and have kids.
yeah.
She's 23. Susan was 20, and I was 20. We both, anybody, I was 21 and she was 20. I was 21 by a month when we got married, but it took us a few years. No, no. So yeah, but it is so much fun. And, I'm so lucky that we've got connected, and I really enjoy working with Michelle. And it takes a team, on both sides. I mean, that in the work you do and in the touring and all that, it takes a team to make this happen. And it takes a team to get Dementia Man booked and out there and
Yeah.
doing what we do. And I don't know that, I think, I don't know how many people, when they watch even a TV show, much less maybe a little bit more in theater, um, but I don't know if they really see they understand what it takes to put it out there and make it work and keep it going. Um,
Yeah.
and that's in part what I want to do, to let people know about you and the other folks. This will be the first there. I'm going to try to get some of the other people who've been involved in Dementia Man. Through an interview to talk about how they did that. Um, because I really love the positive feedback we get from.
Yeah.
And it's not just about me; it's about the system, and you and others have been a critical part of making this happen.
Yeah, and I have to say, there's been so many years now that so much of my focus has been on children's entertainment that for me it's actually been really nice and refreshing to be working on a project that's something different.
Well,
I've loved
the literally opposite end,
the
the
opposite
really
end.
the really old guy and an end of life um, conversation. I mean,
Yeah, and it brings a good perspective to me in my life, you know?
it's interesting that we
Yeah.
both ends of that. And so, is there a particular way? We probably should. Do I? First of all, how's this for breaking news? We're going to make sure we have you on the website. I don't know if we do.
No, currently not on the website.
So we're going to be on our website, but
I'm gonna add me to the website.
and a way to be in touch with you too,
Sure.
professionally. So we'll let that get added as you put this together.
Yes.
I think that would be a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see, what can we leave with? Maybe if there are uh, anybody interested in working in the child's area, or is that the thing? What can we leave or bringing joy
Yeah.
to the
I
young people?
mean, here's a list of things that I'm in a part of that I can be helpful with, um, things that I really enjoy. So yes, if you are in the kids industry or just have kids or grandkids that you are interested in bringing, check out the Lori Berkner Band. You can find them at theloriberknerband.com. And I am touring most of those shows I am performing at. There are 2 different tour managers, and I do some of the shows that I don't tour manage. I also perform at those now, and sometimes, and then all of the shows that I do tour manage.
Mm.
So I have that. And then I am a tour manager. So I'm used to advancing shows, hospitality, settling merch, selling merch, planning merch.
And speaking of selling merch, we have a merch thing on
We
our
do have a merch. Exactly. So handling all of the back end of shows, lighting cue sheets, and there's 1,000 details involved, but I do have a background in the tour managing side. If there were any questions with that, I teach dance. I teach ballet classes currently for the most part. And I also have some little kid baby preschool classes that I have been teaching this year. So I teach on Wednesday nights. I teach for 5.5 hours of dance. That's in Rutherford currently. But I also sometimes do different kinds of private lessons or things that people need for that. And so tour managing, dance teacher. I love doing video editing and enjoy like all of the website updating and things like that. Just I find it fun. Video editing, I think it's very similar to choreography for me. Like that's something that I enjoy out of that.
Well, it's an eye. It's an eye, and I've written some poetry, and I do theater, write stories, but that I think individuals have it because of either the life stories or whatever have different and maybe even just genetic makeup, but have different strengths, and that's a great.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's been something that I find fulfilling doing that kind of work as well. So anything like that, feel free to reach out to me.
Yay. Well, don't take, we won't let her take too much of her time because we still got to get this done. So,
Yes.
Michelle, I'm so glad to have you as my first meet the team. Everybody,
Yes.
it takes a team.
It
And
does take a team. That's for sure.
and so thank you so much,
Thank
Michelle.
you.